Mechanism of water absorption. Absorption of water. In higher plants, water is absorbed through root hairs, which are in contact with the soil water. The root hair zone is just behind the root tip. Here you can see the root hair, then the water particle there, sand particle is there. Mechanism of water absorption is of two types. Passive absorption of water. According to this theory, water is absorbed through the roots, not by the roots, or rather than by the roots, because for that you can say roots are merely acting as a simple absorbing organ. Development of diffusion pressure deficit, that is DPD, in mesophyll cells of the leaves due to rapid transpiration causes the water in the xylem vessel or tracheids to pass into a state of tension, which results in an increase in DPD of the water in the ducts due to imposed tension. As soon as the DPD of the water in the xylem ducts in the absorbing region of the root exceeds that in the neighboring cell, a gradient of DPD is established across the root, increasing consistently from cell to cell, that is from epiderma to the xylem. The osmotic pressure of the root epiderma and root hair cells for most species for which measurements are available is about 3 to 5 atmosphere. Hence, DPD of this magnitude can develop in the peripheral cells of the root even if the water in them is not under tension. Whenever the DPD of the water in the peripheral walls of the young root cells exceeds that of the water in soil, water will move from soil into the root. The above given process is called passive absorption because the entry of water into the roots is brought about by conditions which originate at the top of the plant, and the root cells merely play only a subsidiary role. That passive absorption can occur independently of any activity of the roots is indicated by the fact that transpiring shoots can absorb water through anesthetized or dead roots or even without any roots at all. Now here you can see that the water is being evaporated through the leaf, so the whole water column comes under tension, and you can see the water are absorbed by the roots, not through the roots. Roots are merely acting as an absorbing organ because for that the tension is created at the top. Active absorption of water. Active absorption occurs as a result of activities in the root and does not concern the shoot. Osmotic absorption of water by plants, roots. By active absorption, we mean that water is being absorbed through an expenditure of metabolic energy, that is at the cost of ATP. Active absorption may take place in one of the two ways. Active absorption through osmotic mechanism. Water absorbed by osmotic means does not directly require an expenditure of energy. You can say that this absorption through osmotic mechanism does not involve the expenditure of ATP. Ersprung and Blum, 1916, gave a correct and modified version. They observed that water movement actually occurs along gradients of diffusion pressure deficit, that is DPD, or suction pressure, that is SP. The DPD of the root cortical cells being less than the DPD of the xylem sac. The entire root cortex functions as a differentially permeable membrane. In many herbaceous plants, the solute seems to be largely inorganic, and there seems to be definite relationship between salt accumulation in the cortex and the occurrence of root pressure. The principal problem in connection with the osmotic explanation is as to how a sufficient concentration of solute is maintained in the root xylem to produce an osmotic gradient from soil to xylem. Non-osmotic theory. The intake of water according to these theories presumably requires the expenditure of energy, which of course is released by respiration. This type of absorption is against the osmotic gradient and the substances which inhibit respiration also inhibits non-osmotic water absorption. The available evidence indicates that passive absorption accounts for the most of the water absorbed by the plants. Active absorption will only become important in very slowly transpiring plants growing in soil near field capacity and has never been observed in conifers. Factors affecting the water absorption. Available water content of soil. The water content between field capacity and permanent wilting is often termed as readily available water. The availability of soil water to plants depends primarily on its diffusion pressure deficit, often termed as soil moisture stress. The dPd of the soil depends upon the soil moisture tension determined by gravitation, hydrostatic and capillary forces, and the osmotic pressure of the soil solution. Number 2, concentration of soil solution. Concentration of soil solution depends upon the presence of soluble substances in the soil. If the concentration of soil solution is more as compared to that of the cell sap of roots, water absorption will not take place, as the soil becomes physiologically dry. If a soil is not irrigated properly after adding fertilizers, the soil solution becomes hypertonic, that is, the soil becomes physiologically dry, so no absorption will occur from the physiologically dry soil. It is essential to irrigate a field properly after addition of fertilizer because it reduces osmotic concentration of soil solution, thus facilitating water absorption. The principal factor involved in retardation of absorption of water at low temperature are as follows: increased viscosity of water, B. Decreased rate of movement of water through soil, C. Retardation in the rate of root elongation, D. Decreased permeability of the membranes of root cells, E. Decreased metabolic activity of the root cells. Most plants require temperature ranging from 20 to 35 degrees for optimum water absorption. Soil aeration. Absorption of water proceeds more rapidly in well-aerated soil as compared to those which are not. In poorly aerated soil, oxygen concentration may approach zero value and carbon dioxide concentration may move up to 12%, which is of course not uncommon. If oxygen concentration of soil is low, rate of respiration of root cell is reduced and thus influence other metabolic processes as well as the rate of the root growth.